Hi YouTube, this is Sean once again. If you like this video, please press the like button. If you have any questions or comments, please comment below. I read all of your comments. I enjoy reading all of them. I really do. If you think that this video can benefit somebody else, please forward them this video. Share with them this channel. Please don't restrict the information in this channel just to yourself. Before we begin, I want to tell you that I am not an attorney. Nothing that I discuss here is legal advice. Matter of fact, if you take some of the advice that is in this video, it could be a violation of your company rules and regulations. You can be disciplined up to termination. Different companies have different rules, and some companies have no rules. So take it with a grain of salt, what I have to say, but I want you to think about this. So we're going to talk about what can you do if somebody is about to spit on you or they spat on you already. What are your options? This is kind of like that wound that you have. Maybe you got cut or something like that. You fell down a street on the asphalt and then you got a cut and you're debating whether or not to see a doctor for it because this cut can turn into a massive infection. It's kind of like lifting the Band-Aid and unrevealing, that's not even a word, revealing the surface. You're revealing the surface to see what the issue is. This is something we need to discuss because some people have different reactions. Now, I'm not going to tell you what I have thought about or done in the past as a private security professional. It was illegal, but sometimes when you make these discussions or you disclose some information, some people, they don't really want to hear it, and you put yourself in the bad light. I'm not gonna do that on this video. I'm not gonna tell you the outcome. Anyhow, everything that I've done in the past as a private security professional has been legal. If you are a body language expert, you can review the footage, rewind what I just said, and analyze me. But I am telling the truth. Everything I've done is legal. When you use some type of measure, sometimes it looks ugly. Okay. Now, let's talk about spitting in general. Can you contract an infectious disease if somebody spits on you? And the answer to that is yes. You can get Hep C and I think Hep B. And in the end, if that lingers in your system, you end up contracting Hep B or C. You can die from that. If somebody has COVID-19 and they spit on you and you have no immunity, okay, to some of the diseases that are out there, like the common cold or even a flu, yes, you can die. Why am I saying this? Because every time you put your hands on somebody or you engage in a defensive maneuver, you have to be able to justify your actions, okay? So the answer is you can get an infectious disease if somebody's saliva gets into contact with you, perhaps your eyes or your mouth. So we need to get that out of the way. Now, in general, if somebody is far away from you or farther, well, the farther they are from you, the more justification that you need in order to put immediate hands on this person. The closer they are to you, the more justification you have. So I'll say that again. The farther you are away from this person who's about to spit on you, maybe that they spit on you already, you're going to have more justification than if they were in closer contact with you. Now, if somebody's in closer contact to you, maybe within conversational distance, and they're about to spit on you, you don't have to go out there and be on the receiving end and get spat on. Number one, it's humiliating. It's disgusting. Matter of fact, generations ago, people used to spit on slaves. And they done that to other people who may not be in their same culture. They spat on them to humiliate them. So that's number one. But can you use force if somebody is going to humiliate you? And the answer to that is no. There has to be some type of physical action that precedes this verbal assault of degradation. So just words in itself, it's not going to, I mean, you can't put hands on somebody. If they're about to spit on you and you're within conversational distance, this is just my opinion, my non-professional opinion. I don't represent any law enforcement agency, any government agency, any college. This is just my opinion. If they're about to spit on you, you can physically move their face away from you if you believe, if it's a reasonable belief that they're going to spit on you. So grabbing your hand and grabbing them right here quickly and pushing their face away from you so they don't spit on you is reasonable, in my opinion. What do you guys think? Or are you supposed to just stand there and cover your face? You cover your face, they can reach for a gun. If you don't carry a gun, they can reach for your pepper spray. If you're unarmed, they can reach for a flashlight and attack you with it. That's why you shouldn't have to just cover your face. So for me, I grab their face fast, move it away. Now this on camera looks violent, and that's why you're going to have to justify your actions. Why did you do that? Another thing is this: are they about to spit on you, or are they trying to bite you? Because if they're about to bite you, you can use a lot more reasonable force than if they're just going to spit on you. And sometimes it's hard to distinguish. Do you see what I mean? Any physical defensive move that you engage in, you have to justify. You have to justify your actions. He was about to bite me. Well, how do you know that? Because I saw his teeth, and he made a clenching sound with his teeth, or he made a grimace with his teeth as he was, and to me, I strongly believe that he was about to bite me, or his teeth were coming out when his jaw moved towards me. It's difficult, you guys, at the heat of the moment to determine whether or not they're going to spit at you or they're going to bite at you. If they're about to spit on you, again, my justification is with the minimal amount of force possible with my hands, I moved his face away from me and pushed it away. Okay? Now on camera, actually, it doesn't matter where you're at. The thing what I don't like about cameras, it doesn't get every perspective. It doesn't get the perspective of the security officer. That's why you have to verbalize your actions. So they're about to spit on you. At the same time, move their head away from you and say it aloud. Don't spit at me. Don't spit at me. You're creating witnesses. You're creating an audience. Don't spit at me. I don't want to use force. Stop spitting at me. Stop biting me. Don't bite. Don't bite. It depends on the crowd. If you're in an Asian crowd and it's mostly Chinese, it's a Chinese restaurant or a Chinese mall, Chinese market, I'm going to say in English and Chinese. I don't know Chinese, but I'll learn it. I'll learn it if I have to. Same thing with Spanish. I will say in Spanish, stop trying to bite me, stop trying to bite me, stop trying to spit at me. Another thing that you might want to consider, a lot of people don't like this anymore, but this is a spit hood, a spit mask. Okay? And what you do is you put this, and this is actually sometimes more humane than others. You put that over their head. Now I'm not going to put this over my head because I could just see somebody on YouTube editing out every discussion that I just had about use of force, defending yourself, and just taking out the audio and just displaying me putting this on my head. I'm not stupid, you guys. People have negative connotations when you put a white hood over somebody's head. So I'm not going to do that. But this is an option. And if I use it, I'm going to explain. Now, I worked at a hospital before. There was a brief time period where you're allowed to use this, and then you weren't. And there was a time when you're able to put a pillowcase over their head. Right now, with the current time, it doesn't look good. And just because it doesn't look good, that doesn't mean you shouldn't use the technique. I'm just saying that you're going to have a lot more explaining to do, and most private security guards do a horrible time explaining their actions. When they use self-defense, they use legitimate, reasonable force almost every time that I've seen, but they do a horrible job explaining why they did something and what was their whole rationale, what was the process. I know that because I've interviewed quite a handful of private security guards that have been engaged in physical force and have a difficult time explaining themselves. So it does happen out there. Okay, so this is one option. Make sure that this is within the policy, you guys. I'd rather have my guys out there using a spit hood because the fire department, they most likely have a spit hood. I would rather use this than a pillowcase, which there might be some breathing restriction when it comes down to using pillowcase. But I'd rather use this than have to use physical force. Okay, on the jaw, there's pressure points. If they're about to bite you or spit at you, and then they're facing you, or they're about to spit at you or bite you, you can press in some of these areas around here, and it creates pain. And what it does is every time that they try to move towards you, to bite or spit at you, kind of like this, okay, they're creating their own pressure. So they determine how much pressure that's going to be placed in this region right here. The faster, the quicker, the more force they use to try to bite you or spit at you, the more pain that they're going to inflict on themselves. And that's how I'm going to testify is, wait a minute, I didn't create the pain there. All I did was place my knuckle, or you could even say the bones in my fingers, okay, along their jawline. I placed minimal pressure, and I kept it there. I maintained it there, and I did not retreat. See, in most jurisdictions, you don't have to retreat when faced with physical violence. So I'm staying right here. I'm standing my ground, and this person is placing pressure in my direction, causing their own pain. That's why it's called pain compliance. You, as the bad guy or gal, you determine how much pressure is going to be placed on you by your actions, okay? Guys and gals, the old school method of punching somebody in the face because they spit at you, the farther you are away from them, the less chance, or the harder it is to justify that. The closer you are to them, the more of a reason you have to punch them in the face. But right now, it looks bad, you guys, on camera. It looks bad in the court. We're going to have to resort to another technique than punching somebody in the face. And you're going to have a lot of explanation to do. If you punch somebody in the face, if they're about to spit on you, you're going to have to explain that the threat and harm from them spitting on you, contracting some disease, is going to be a lot greater harm than you punching them in the face. That's all I have today, you guys. My discussion doesn't involve what I would do in the future if somebody spat at me or is about to spit on me or is about to bite on me. This is just something, this is just different options that are available. There might be other options that are also available that I have not discussed on this video. Every circumstance is different. The facts are different. Please do not use the techniques that I have discussed without going to some type of licensed professional, a licensed training facility, or a professional self-defense trainer. I am not a professional weaponless defense trainer at all. So again, discuss these techniques with an attorney. Discuss them with your employers. Remember, you can't just resort to these techniques if it's against violation of company policy. So anyhow, let me know what your thoughts are. What would you do if somebody's about to spit on you? Have you been spit on before? Because I have as a private security officer. What are your thoughts on this? Is the techniques that I explained, is it too much? Is it reasonable? Is it unreasonable? Let me know what your thoughts are, you guys. If you have any questions, concerns, suggestions for other future videos, please comment below. Okay, thanks, and take care.